Your girl, Miss Neka and T Rochelle. Who's this handsome man to the left of us?
Well, good morning. My name is Burnell White. I'm the Imperial Deputy of the Desert of Texas for the Prince Hall Shriners. So that's a little bit of who I am. I am born and bred in San Antonio. I'm a Cherokee.
Welcome.
and I went to Raleigh, down on Nebraska Street. And everything, so I'm at home.
Yes.
And we're kind of excited. We're hosting our Desert Conference Gala Days coming up this week. Matter of fact, all of the madness will begin tomorrow and everything. But our official program doesn't start until Thursday. So,
awesome. So where do you live right now?
Here.
Okay, you do.
Yeah. This is home. I get to hang out with these guys and stuff, and they try to keep me straight.
Yeah, I tell you, they don't try to keep you. Not now.
Look, it works both ways, between him and Rock and everything. Matter of fact, I just got off the phone talking to him a little bit and everything. But they keep me on my toes.
Well, I know this one over here snapping pics and stuff. He is very involved in the community.
Yes.
He's probably a part of about 7 different organizations, sitting on the board of all of them. Then has his own personal community outreaches that he does. And, and then on top of all of that, has the best wife ever.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna get all the fabulousness to Tracy. And she also has a beautiful spirit, and also just has that give type of just community about her, which makes him a great duo.
Yeah.
But so tell me exactly what y'all's organization does.
Well, the Prince Hall Shriners, and of course when we talk about Shrindom, our side of the house and everything, and we are a product of our society. So we have Prince Hall Shriners, and then we have other Shriners. And a lot of times folks will get us kind of confused, but we do recognize each other appropriately, and our relationships are getting better. But we are a product of the segregation in our country. And so when you hear Prince Hall Shriners, that is a birth that took place because we weren't allowed to join those organizations and everything. And so we get into a lot of the history and the Supreme Court cases, because in order for us to wear the fezes that we do, in order for us to wear the emblems that we do, in order for us to call ourselves Shriners, we had to go to court for that. And so, and we celebrate that. It's called Jubilee Day, and we celebrate that in June. But our organization is comprised of the men, which are called nobles, and then we have the ladies auxiliary, which is called daughters. And you see us generally, especially when we are out in our community or whatever the case may be, doing the charitable works that we do. We're usually side by side, and so you'll see us, and we'll have our fezes on. And of course, the ladies, you always see them when they have their fezes on. They're white all the way top to bottom. And so we each have our own charitable organizations, but what we have begun doing a lot more is we do a lot of our charity jointly. Because classic case of where the community needs us is with one of our pillar programs, which is the SAMS program, Shriners as Mentors. And the ladies have what they call the Diamond program, and it's focused on mentoring. So when we go out to someplace like the Boys and Girls Club and everything, we go to the Boys and Girls Club, we go in there and we sit down, and there may be 50% young men, 50% women, and or young ladies and everything. And so we try to provide a total solution. So we go in as the men, and we go in with the women, and we try to help, with our young folks. There's probably not a time in our society where we are needed more. And I say we, all of the community-based organizations that are challenged to do things. Just like we were talking a little bit earlier about the things that are happening in our communities and the things that are needed. And so when we look at that, and you look at your formulating documents statements about what it is you're supposed to do, there's no shortage of necessity in our communities and stuff like that. So whether we are talking about us as Shriners, whether we're talking about BGLOs, one of the things that we have to really try and focus on is trying to do things together, because the community itself is so ready for organizations that can work together, and the challenges are so large that one organization is just not going to be able to, meet that need.
I think that's important because, I know I often look for our fraternities, sororities, and other, civic groups to show up, but oftentimes you don't see them. Not like you would say, we span back through history, from the inception of such organizations to now. The face is not there. You know what I'm saying?
It's not the forefront anymore.
Yeah.
And I know I can credit that to two things. One, we're older. So, of course, when I saw a lot of frats and sororities or was a part of that situation, it was college, and you're younger, and then, of course, it's right in front of your face.
Absolutely.
But when you think of the definition of why a lot of the organizations were founded, then you wonder, or I wonder, why the presence is so strong on the university and not the community.
Well, we like every other organization, are challenged now in a different way for membership, first and foremost. And you have to look back historically when you start talking about the numbers, because even when we start talking about the Masonic family, for us, which is the basis for everything, our numbers are not what they used to be. And part of that is because think back into the times when our forefathers were there. There were very few things that they could be a part of.
So everybody was a part of that.
Absolutely. And that's one of the challenges, a changing dynamic that has taken place. And so when you look at it historically, you say that's the first thing that you have to take into account. Now the second thing is our organizations have to be better about the young folks that are coming along, the skill sets they bring to the table. We have to be able to challenge and compete with other organizations that are out there, because you have a multitude of organizations that are out there. Just like with business, if you're not doing the right things and moving forward, you'll get left behind.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing with our organizations. If you go out and I'm not in a BGLO, but I know that a lot of the basis as far as recruitment and things along those lines that we look for, the character that we look for in the individuals is similar. And so when we start talking about vetting our candidates, but once you get them, how do you keep them? Well, you keep them when we start talking about some of the folks that we have, like with Potentate Burnell over here. He is what we talked about earlier. He brings a skill set that did not exist before 20 or 30 years ago. And so this is not to knock history, but this is to say during that time they were challenged with what they brought to the table. And he doesn't want to spend his time wasting his time if he can't make an effective impact on our organizations.
Because everybody has something different that they can bring to the table that can make you better.
Absolutely. And so if we're not constantly evolving and challenging our members, they get bored.
Absolutely. And they're not going. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just it's so important, and I feel like that's what it's kind of about when we talk about community, when we talk about work. Period. When we're stagnant, and I always tell people, hey, when you go out there, smile and look excited, even if you're not, because if you as a member are not excited about what's going on, how in the heck is somebody else going to be excited about it? If you as a member aren't paying your dues, how do you expect somebody else to donate? Like the energy starts from the core. So you have to be so challenging and giving somebody something that they love to do, a passion. Every time he comes out, he's smiling, he's working, he's doing what he's doing instead of sitting in the corner like, I don't know when it starts.
and I get the point in which you're making, but like I said, for me, I guess that community presence, that like a face that we can associate with. You know what I'm saying? I believe that that's lacking. You know what I mean? And not to knock any organization or group again. You know, because some organizations have particular groups that they work with. You know what I'm saying, on a regular basis. So you know, you might not see them within said community where they're located, but they're not saying that they're not giving back. But I'm just saying, you know, that face, that presence is not there anymore. And I believe that even when it comes to organizations and mentoring the youth, you know, to me it's like really simple, you know what I'm saying, to be able to say, our organization, we're going to dedicate 45 hours a month, if you will, to, you know, mentoring kids at this school or to whatever said public projects to get the community motivated, you know what I mean?
Because I know that would also help with recruitment, which I was going to ask you about too, what you think. Because I know with organizations, it is hard to get new members, you know, and get them excited with the same passion and purpose of what you started with. So, I you know, and then I see the people who are in the organization, they're like, man, we need some new energy, some new this, and they want that to happen. Then I see these new energy, new stuff on the streets, like, we ain't got nothing to join. And I'm like, we need to have a meeting. Because there is, like, there's so many people that would fit your organization perfectly, but they either just don't know you exist or you don't know they exist. And like you said, it's not concentrated to where we're the only thing you can join. So they're out doing all kinds of other stuff.
Well, and you're right. As far as presence, that's a perpetual challenge. And when we look at things, and I know, like with Palmer, he's been very instrumental here locally, where we're trying to shift where people are not focused on getting PR.
They just got working.
That's the tail wagging the dog. So if you go do the work, then the members or the potential members will see you. And so we have a lot of work to do with that in that regard. But we are definitely evolving in that regard, not just from the local San Antonio level when we start talking about, in particular, the actual Desert of Texas. I mean, I've got Palmer is here, and he's the state PR director, and he does a great job. He has a publication that we send out electronically, Desert Traveler, just highlighting the things that are done across the state. And we utilize that as just what you're talking about, a recruiting tool, just to say, here's the things that we're doing, we're documenting those things, because the people that are going to see that are the ones that you want, because they come to you rather than you
because they see something that matches them, and they say, ooh, I want to get more information. I want to be
more involved with that.
Because that's important too. Like, there's so many aspects of this whole thing.
Absolutely.
Like, that's important. I've got to the point at the station, I'm like this. I ain't posting up nothing. If they want it, they'll come ask me. And then when they come ask me the first time, y'all take note. I'm like, second time, I'm waiting till you get to the fourth or fifth, because I want to know that you want it. Like, you are that interested. Like, Neka, I'll show up. You ain't got to be here. Show me where something is. Because that energy is what I need, what you need to succeed. And what we need, the addition that we need to get further. If I'm going out there searching for you, and I got to find you, and I got to convince you that this is where you need to be, and that's a lot of wasted energy. For somebody to stay around for 6 weeks and then be out. Or be useless.
And that's exactly right, because we run across that, and I'm sure all organizations do. You have people that want to be just for the sake of being.
Because they want to put that shirt on.
Absolutely.
But they don't want to put that, they want that success. That when you go to parties and everybody's shaking your hand and congratulating on what you do, they want that feeling. But how can you really, really feel that feeling if you never sat in a room for 5 hours and put one of them events on? And figured out how to get it done, or sat in front of a computer and edited a video for freaking 2 days so it came out perfectly rendering. You spends half of his time waiting on rendering. But it's like, if you're not in some form or fashion hands-on, there's two easy ways to do it. You can be hands-on and get in there and put your mind and your hands in it. You can write a check, boo. Make it possible for other people to do it.
So as we talk about maybe a better presence, tell us what your organization does and what you're here to talk about.
Well, like I said, the reason why we set this up, this kind of talk and continue our communal and activities and everything. And we come together every year. We rotate around the state, the desert as we call it. Last year we were in Houston, so I was fortunate enough to do an interview with down at TSU with their stations and everything. But yeah. So that was cool and everything. But what we have coming up, we get together on an annual basis and we come together to take care of the business, organizing, educating our members, and equipping them to go out and try to achieve the goals that have been set in front of us from our national level. Okay. When we start talking about our primary programs, we start talking about SAMs, we start talking about student aid, we start talking about NDI, National Diabetes Initiative, things that are critical in our communities and everything. So we bring everybody together, talk about those programs, we educate them, and then we give them what they need, we think, from a management standpoint, to go forth and do those things in their community. So when we come in, we have, like we'll get started on Thursday. We will do all of our ritualistic openings and all that, morning and stuff. And then that evening, we start off, we have a public program. And at that public program, we try to invite as many folks in as possible. But when we go to a city, what we do is we find organizations that we can help through contributions, whether that could be financial or products or whatever the case may be, and we give away our scholarships. Okay. So the way that we end up doing that is we send out, I think this year we sent out probably 150 applications for students in the local area, and we'll give away, this year we're going to give away 4 scholarships, 2 of them which will come from the desert, from the state. That'll be, both of those are $1,100 each for our students, and then the local temple, Booster Temple, my home temple, will also be giving away a couple of scholarships, probably about another $1,000 or so that we will give away.
And are these youth part of your organization, or are these just
these are graduating seniors? From
so and you guys have already picked the individuals.
We have a scholarship committee that actually operates, and we have criteria for that. So what we had them do is send their applications down. The scholarship committee happens to be in Houston, but that sanitizes everything and keeps all of the questionable items out the way, because you don't get the local influence and trying to do things. And so we grade it purely on the merits of
what they said to.
Right. And I can tell you that we run into the challenges and everything, and as an organization, sometimes even though we go to the schools and it's hard to get students to actually apply for it, and we see this.
They think that they can't get it.
Automatically.
Or they think that they have to be affiliated with, or somebody has to be affiliated with the organization or participate.
And so we try to make sure that that's something that's clear and everything. But we are on the noble side and everything, and we don't separate the young men from the young men. It's purely scholarships. So we like to see a little bit more of the men, young men, submitting.
Come on, boys, let's go.
The young ladies are doing what they've always done.
Absolutely.
And they've always lived.
Come get this money.
Education and stuff. So, it is what it is, and our students are our students. So we'll have that. We have invited a number of luminaries from the city. I think we'll have Councilman Calvert to be there. We also have the sheriff. Is he still coming? Chief McManus will be there. We also have our guest speaker is going to be Miss Renee Watson, a classmate of mine over Cherokee Days and everything. So she's going to come down and be our guest speaker. And so we will give away a number of different things that night. We also have a nonprofit, a charitable organization that will make some awards and everything. Things like they call them for cancer patients, necessity bags. We give those away for folks that we know, as well as other things we did. Last year, we awarded to all of the cities something that they could go back into their communities and do. And so in San Antonio, we gave call it 25 pillow pets, and everything. So they're pretty huge, and we took them down to the Children's Hospital and did those things and stuff like that.
So can people still go to any of the events that are happening this weekend, or is it just for the palace?
No. The public program, which will be on Thursday, is open to the community with no cost. So we'll be down at the Tropicana, and the program starts at 7 o'clock. So if anybody is out and about and you want to come and see what the nobles and the daughters are going to be up to from a community standpoint, please come out and everything. And then Friday night, or Friday during the day, we'll have business meetings and everything, and we'll take care of that. And then Friday evening, we have our deputies, called our deputies ball. So everybody gets really good. It's a formal affair.
Nice. Put us on the uniform.
Well, we bring out the white jackets, and we kind of tucked up, and the ladies are tucked up, in their own way, and everything. So we'll have a ball on Friday and stuff, and that's open to the community. It has a cost to it and everything, but that is open. We can always get tickets for folks to attend. And usually on Saturday, a lot of times we will do community activities. Like in Houston last year, we went out to the Kick Academy and we gave them a lot of product and some funds and everything. And this year we'll go to Fisher House on Saturday morning, and we've gotten a wish list from them about the things that the families need over there at the Fisher House, our military families and everything that are there at SAMC or either at the Center for the Intrepid. And so they're there. The one who we're going to support in this particular occasion is the one that's there at the Center. The Fisher House is out at Blackman as well. So we will do the Fisher House on Saturday morning. We go out and we take our clown unit. We have clowns in the Fiesta. So they like to go out and spread a little cheer as well. So we'll do that in the morning. And then at 1 o'clock we have a bowling competition amongst all of the folks from Texas, and some people that like to participate that aren't from Texas. That come. We have a lot of folks outside of the desert of Texas that like to come and hang out with folks from Texas at Team Texas. And our folks do a great job of hosting folks. Folks don't want to give us the South, but we have a lot of South ways.
Right.
Folks come to your house, you tend to them. And you make them comfortable and everything. And our folks do a great job of that wherever we go.
And why do you call it the desert?
Well, when we start talking about the nobles of the Mystic Shrine, okay, we go all the way back to ancient times. Okay? And so within our organization, we say that we crossed the burning sands of the desert, okay, because of our history, ancient Egyptian times, and everything. We had nobles, and so each of our states is identified as a desert, okay, because we have an imperial level, which is the Imperial Council that is really global, because we have organizations that are in Europe, in Asia, and everything. But each of us as a state is considered to be a desert. Okay. Paralleling this with our ancient times. And in each of the cities are called an oasis. So this is the Oasis of San Antonio in the desert of Texas. Houston is an oasis.
Right. So you'll have people across the desert.
Yes. Absolutely.
I got my lingo.
As a matter of fact, you'll see if you would go out and look at like our everything on Facebook and stuff, you'll see folks and they'll have symbolism that they're all out on the desert right now, traversing to San Antonio. Traversing to San Antonio and stuff. So we, like I said, we on Saturday we'll have the bowling. We'll go out to Fort Sam and bowl, and that evening we'll have what they call a relaxo, and that's more or less a more relaxed dance and everything, and folks can come and get tickets for that. It's just $10.
Everything at El Tropicana?
Everything will be at El Tropicana, yeah.
Okay.
And everything. So we'll be doing that, and then Sunday we'll wrap up, and we'll send everybody on their way. Hopefully, we'll travel back to their homes.
Very good.
But Yeah, so that's kind of what we do when we come into the city and everything.
We do that, of course, every year, different places. Like
Every year.
This year, San Antonio.
San Antonio, so it's as the deputy, it's a great time. We were last year in 2010 and everything, and we had a great time. Did a lot of good work over there with the Eastside Boys and Girls Club. We've got a really strong relationship with them. We try to do things to help our youth and everything, understanding the organization structure the way that it is and stuff. We do quite a bit over there with Mr. Shandy and everything. So
that Kevin.
yeah, he's coming to our events and stuff as well. So that's kind of what we do.
So if the people want to get in contact with you, information for this weekend, how can we gather all that?
Well, first of all, we have you can find us on Facebook.
Okay.
Desert Texas Facebook page. We also have our website, which is deserttexas.org. You can do that. And then I have my crack PR director. He's got his information out there as well. I think on the flyer, we've got his contact information. All right. So yeah, we can also look at Lucy Temple 106 page as well.
We also get info, and that of course is not just for the events of this weekend, but in the future. If you finally get to that point where I get so many people that reach out and say, I really want to start doing things for the community. If you have anything for me to volunteer for, like woo. Well, the organization's our purpose is to bring on the people who do things all the time. So if you really know about them, now you call them. Right. Whatever. Because again, there is much to be done, and everybody has a place, and we can all do something. Reach one, teach one, help one, uplift one, grow one, high five one, do something with at least one.
Well, I'd be a little bit remiss if I didn't acknowledge the great work that I know you guys do. I know I see you across the city, and I know how active you are, and it's a great platform. Being from San Antonio and understanding how we have challenges in communications.
Right.
And so this is another opportunity for us to share with our membership, particularly in the San Antonio area. I mean, we see you out doing great things. You're always out in the community and everything. I know we'll continue to see you out there, but I want to thank you for the things that you do. I know you talk about some very stimulating things.
On some days, other days,
Now, one of the things that I'm going to give you is as well.
Fiesta!
Fiesta San Antonio. So this year, with us being in San Antonio, of course, our members decided that they wanted to embrace Fiesta, and so
it's the best thing to do.
Absolutely. And so how medals are looked upon and everything.
Yes.
We try to get it. I see. You're ready to strap some things on. And so we try to get our folks to understand it's good to have these, but you don't want to be anywhere where we only have one.
Right.
Because folks are going to want to swap them out.
See, trading is a big thing with the medals, and I was just telling people yesterday that you will not be a good trader if you just have one medal.
If you just have one medal, you might be without your medal.
You're going to be without your medal.
I don't think I'm going to trade this one though.
Yeah.
No, you don't trade this.
I'm not going to trade this.
And last week, Ken's had this medal on their little special that they did.
They featured you.
But,
so Fiesta's huge, people. Like, I don't think people really understand, and I know that folks that aren't from San Antonio, they really don't understand. And don't understand how we close the streets down.
Right.
Like, if there was any time ever that you can show up to work late and have drunk, it's during Fiesta and the Spurs playoff.
And you not get in trouble?
And not because your boss was with you. It was an office party at Fiesta. So this is the time, and so this is their
and that's what we try to tell folks is that this is San Antonio's Mardi Gras.
Absolutely.
It's the Mardi Gras.
And now I'm
tacos.
I too must give you this. So saw on Facebook about how Fiesta originated, and how
can we
celebrate it, whatnot, and unfortunately, and I'll say within any culture, because this is a Hispanic, Mexican, American culture, celebration, if you will, something that was bad, but they turned it into
something
a celebration or whatever, you know.
And let's think about that real quick, because I remember looking up the history one year. I want to say it's about 3 or 4 years ago, but it's shady of what it was. But I know Fiesta, when it first started, there was what was the bad thing about us?
I don't think it had anything to do with us. It was for the Mexicans. I believe it had something to do with the war. You know what I'm saying? The Mexican war that took place, and you know, and again,
it was something that was kind of like, ooh, and then the black people had to do something, but of course back then we had to do everything, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, it was like the black people had to do
right.
So like, I don't know if we were the floats and we had to carry the people. I don't know. It was, but back in those days we had to do everything anyway. But it is turned into positive. It is a fundraiser. Fiesta is a citywide fundraiser where every event, every booth that you see out there, the beer booths, the food booths, or something, portions of that money go to programs and different things in the city of San Antonio. So there's you know, who knows why some people started stuff, but if it's an official event of Fiesta, then it has to be a donation type situation, a fundraiser type situation, and that money has to be going to something that's benefiting the city and uplifting the city. That's what Fiesta is.
Right.
So there's over 100-something events. You know, I always encourage my black people to do more than just the Taste of New Orleans. Yeah. And I always encourage my white folks to go to the Taste of New Orleans. To see the different things. Black people think Fiesta begins and ends on Friday and Sunday because that's the only time the taste is. But Fiesta's 10 days. Yeah. And it really don't kick off until Market Square kick off, and they block up them streets. And you just going down different streets, and there's 8 different stages and different corners and music going everywhere. Yeah, that's Fiesta, you know, so the Spurs are playing the playoffs, so every time you pass by TV, you hear, ah! And then you keep going and you drink, and then somebody gonna hit you with an egg, and then somebody gonna kiss you out the blue. It's Fiesta! That's right.
We don't have these, but we got medals.
Right. And yes, and then of course, with the Fiesta medals, they actually have an official medal building. I want to say it's downtown, and that they sell all the medals at. And then if you get it there, a portion of the proceeds, again, also go to the fundraising organization. So it's all good, man. It's party with a purpose is basically what it is.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't understand that until, is it 5 minutes ago? No, I'm just kidding. So I like it. So I was going to ask you one more thing before we actually play a song, because this is, our hour of talk time.
Right.
But as you kind of remind me of my daddy.
Okay.
So that's a great thing.
That's a good thing. Right.
It's like you're like my daddy and his brother.
Okay.
But they look the same, but they don't. Like my uncle down here and my daddy. So I'll probably be calling you later and coming over for dinner.
Well, hey.
And can I borrow $10?
All right. I got a new daughter. I know, right?
I'm just saying. You got to pay daddy.
I know, right? Well.
But so saying that though, it like you just didn't sit there and you smiled or whatever, and I was like, oh, you have such a warm spirit to you. You know what I'm saying? So I can come over and give you a hug. How important do you think? And we already know the answer, especially in time today. You started off saying that before you start talking. Is the male presence for you guys just all the way across the board?
It's huge. It's absolutely huge, and we know this. It's always a challenge. Our young men are suffering. Mm-hmm. They're absolutely suffering in the community. It's not getting any better. And so for us, first of all, as black men, and then secondarily, the organizations in which we belong to, we do not have to look far for the opportunity to do good for our communities.
Absolutely.
If we don't get out and put ourselves in front of our young men, as supposed to be the leaders of our families, our communities and everything, we will have lost an entire generation before too long. It hasn't changed that the #1 industry in America is prison systems. When we talk to the young men, anybody can have a running with the law. But what we need to make sure that people understand is that the system is designated and it has a slot for you.
Yeah.
As a young man. It has one for me. Only question is, and this is what I told the young man that got himself in trouble. I said, the only question is, are you going to claim me or not? We have to talk to our young men about how to survive, how to get back home. It's sad in today's world. But I know I can talk to my father, who grew up in Mississippi. And I'm old enough to have seen when our families had to be relocated out of places as a result of the things that were going on. But those were discussions that for me, at the age I am, father, and y'all kind of younger than everything, your grandfathers had to deal with. And that was having the discussion, how do you make it home safe and sound?
Right.
And so we have to get out and let our young men know that what is out there, over there, that's not what's for them.
It's not, and you know, I believe it's attack on so many different levels. You know, the one that we talk about the most is that one that you just mentioned, getting back home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just a simple driving down the street. Just, you know, so many situations where your life can be gone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even your fault. Like, you didn't do anything.
Right.
You know, which is ridiculous. And then, but the other day, and I talk about this a lot. I'm sorry, the media situation just really gets me. But the other day, like 2-3 days ago, I saw a video of freaking Lil Wayne with some woman's freaking outfit on. He had a sweater and it had some frillies and he had some boots that was up to here and a freaking wig on. And I was like, what's going on? And this was his freaking concert, you know? And I'm thinking, really? And I get it. So Prince is coming up on Friday, right?
Yeah.
To me, Prince and what Lil Wayne's doing is two completely different things.
Right.
You know, I get the entertainment aspect of it. To me, I feel like that is society and media confusing the hell out of our black boys from 8 years old to 22.
Well,
probably don't have a man in the home.
Right. And that is, and we talk about this a lot too, the emasculation.
I feel like it is. I feel like it is literally a mass emasculation of black men.
But we have to take responsibility for that. We have to make sure that we don't feel that way, that it's okay for us to do those things, to start wearing women's clothes and think it's okay. No, they were designed for women. We're supposed to be men. We can't do the same things that women do. That's not good in our communities. We have to be male leaders, strong leaders, so that our young men see what it is to be in this society which we did not create, okay, and be able to be successful. And that's not the way. And we allow the dollar, again, we allow the dollar to
override a decent whatever decision.
It's a domino effect. I mean, and I know you guys talk about this stuff, and we talk about this all day long and everything, but it's the breakdown of our villages. Okay, we all grew up with that. It takes a village. Well, there's people that are missing in that village, and that is the male in his traditional role as a male. And young men need to be able to see that. When I see my grandson, he don't see no foolishness, because he needs to be able to see something that he can emulate.
And that's not where the way.
It's my responsibility, and it's my responsibility as a man, not just.
I remember how mad my dad was when men started piercing their ears. I just remember. Do you remember? Because that was and it was like, what are you doing? And he was so angry.
More
by
importantly
that,
than
he felt like it was the start of it all.
I mean, and we can try to place blame or say it is or one thing, but I think more importantly is that we have to explain to our youth that that's not your reality.
Right. That's not your world.
More than anything else, like that's not your reality.
Right.
And I don't have to be a male or female to be able to tell a male or female that.
And I think that's what
that's
it is.
just the
We have to
basic.
be in front of them.
That's just the basic. That's just the basic platform. You know, when we see Lil Wayne doing what we see Kim Kardashian do, or any other individual you can name, more than anything else, that's not your reality.
Right.
But and I guess
and that not being your reality equates to because they choose that. That doesn't have to mean that that's your choice.
Right.
So I believe if nothing else, you can see as many positive individuals as you want around you, but it also comes back to you as an individual and the choices you make.
Right.
We could say media pushes it, but I was the one that signed the check for it.
But see, and the thing
and since I signed the check for it, that means I endorsed it, which means I gave you permission to make me look like a fool. I signed up for the
foolishness. So what you had said, like we got to get back in front of the face of them and show them a proper example. So when I see that, I think of my dad, because it wasn't like there wasn't foolishness when I was growing up.
Oh yeah.
But he was in front of my face.
Right.
To tell me that that's foolishness, and you will not. No, there wasn't a choice of whether I could emulate it or not. As long as you're under my roof, as long as I'm feeding you this food, as long as you're going to the school, you will not emulate that.
Right.
You're going to emulate what you see for your mama and me. And he was in front of my face to make sure. In a time where, again, what's missing?
Yeah.
That male face.
Right.
So I'm going back to what you said. It's not that hard for you to walk out your door and find a young man whose daddy ain't around.
Right.
It ain't that hard for you to go into a school and find a young man who needs a male role model.
Right.
You ain't got to do that much.
Right.
And that's how much it's needed, because people aren't in someone's face to say, hey baby, yeah, that's that craziness that go along, but you don't have to do that.
Right.
You don't have to subject yourself to that, because God has given you what you need to survive. That's what I was told.
Right.
That was the only thing, that was probably one of the main things that kept me from thinking that I had to do that.
Right.
Because otherwise I would have probably thought that I had to survive.
And one of the thing that you brought up for us as a people, having something to foundationally belong to and put our feet in.
Right.
And the one thing that we always knew that what brought us through as a people was we had a foundation. And that foundation was the belief in God, the deity, or whatever. You can argue what religion and all those kinds of things, but we're talking about that foundation, because guess what? I used to always think to myself, how is it that my mama and that mama over there, who don't know each other, say the same things?
Right.
Because they were all brought up with a foundation on that book, and it had all the answers for everything. That's what they say, and if we look for that, we find that. But that was always our foundation. And so when we don't have something that is that foundation, other than just the fact that we have the same level of skin color or whatever the case may be, but a foundation that carries us wherever we go. When I left my house, my mother she said she was 5'1", but I bet she wasn't. And she's been gone for 8 years. Okay? And I opened the door for a lady at a post office, and she stopped, and she was astounded. And she looked at me and she said, thank you. You didn't have to do that. And I said, yes, I did. I said, because my mother would show up at any time, at any place, and Lord knows, my mother's been gone for 8 years, but that fear is in me.
It's still there.
I don't know if she's gonna pop up and slap me upside my head, because that wasn't the way we were brought up. Right. There's certain things that you carry with you, and what you were talking about, you carry that with you because that's where your parents brought you up, and that's who you were made of. And so we have to get in the ground floor, because we know that there's some things that are broken, and hopefully give somebody something that will help them go through this that we get challenged with.
I mean, again, just being able to look at one's background or to see that there's a need. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of where the need is, we have a responsibility to heed the call and fill in the void. You know what I'm saying? So that's just across the board. And to say thank you to you and your organization for the work that you do. The examples that you set. We're constantly looking for leaders. We're looking, who's the next Malcolm X, who's the next MLK, who's the next President Barack Obama. Well, we are those individuals. We are those individuals.
Right.
We're just used to the people in the spotlight thinking that they are the leaders, that they're the only leaders, but that's not how that works.
Right.
So once we get that concept and we understand that right where you are is where you do your work.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't do your work 10 years from now. You do your work now. So 10 years from now, you're still doing your work. You know, that's the concept.
I want to give a huge shout out to Candy Thompson, man. She actually wrote our Easter play for our kids and adults, right?
Okay.
Man, she did that thing. She, you know, you take the story and you just make it so simple. But one thing I like about my church is that that's one thing that the pastor said. He said, stop thinking about church. Stop thinking about Christianity.
Right.
Stop thinking about this, that, and the other. Think about the Creator.
Right.
Yourself,
right.
And what's your job in this place is, you know, and the on the play, you know, she showed Jesus in his resurrection, and what Jesus said at the end was, I carried my cross.
Right.
Now you carry yours, because we all have one to carry. We all have a mission of this or that, the other, whatever the definition that you want to call it, we all have it. And I just thought it was so beautiful because it was like, yes, like when Jesus did what he was supposed to do. He did his job, and now you got one.
Yeah.
So now you pick up your cross, and now you walk. You pick up your mattress, and now you walk. And do whatever it is that talent and that beautifulness and that heart is that's going to uplift this kingdom. Because I pretty much guarantee, I don't care what you believe, where you are, whatever, if you come from right here, I can guarantee it's pretty darn good.
and one of the things I want to say to you, and as you said, thank you and your organization. I can tell you right now that I know for a fact that throughout this desert, there are some folks that are listening to what we're talking about. And I want to say to you right here and to them as they're listening, I thank them because they do the work at the local level, whether it be in Oasis of San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, El Paso, Denison, Galveston, Austin, wherever we are dispersed. These are the folks that are sitting out there that are listening right now, and they need to know that they are appreciated for the work that they do. I don't go out and do all those things. I'm fortunate that I have a lot of folks that do great things, and I get to be the face of that. And I have a lady who is in El Paso that is the head of the ladies, the daughters in the desert of Texas and everything. We are fortunate, because we are one of the preeminent deserts in the entire Imperial Council. And I tell folks all the time, a couple of years ago, I was fortunate enough to win what we call the Deputy of the Year. Out of all of the states that we have, all of the deputies that we have, I was selected to be Deputy of the Year. That wasn't because of what I did. That's because of the work that each and every one of these nobles and daughters do when they get out there and they go work and take care of diabetes, which is a huge issue. When they go and they do the SAM Center, when they go to the homeless shelters, when they go do all of these things, that's where the work is done. And so. But
you did the footwork, or you did your footwork as well. You know what I'm saying? You just walk in and they gave you the top man. You put some work in, so
they made sure I did.
And again, it's just but never, we do it because we're humble people.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
We're always a humble people.
I'm saying thank you, y'all.
Don't shoot your foot off. Don't shoot yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're doing good too.
The reason why I get to be in this position because somebody saw something that I did that said that's the person that we want. But I'm smart enough to know I ain't smarter than everybody.
Absolutely.
You're smart enough to know
it's a collective.
Because now your job is to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do.
And giving them opportunities.
And giving opportunities. And saying thank you. And giving them credit where credit is due.
Where credit is due.
And calling the cousin they butt out. I'm just kidding.
We don't like to have to talk strong to nobody, but sometimes we do get an opportunity. I mean, we're a mirror of our society, so we have the same challenges and stuff. But it's great to be a part of the organization because we are in an evolutionary stage right now, and we're starting to see so many more young folks coming along. The desert is growing, and so we want to keep doing those things, and it's important that those folks do those things on the ground.
Prince.
Very good.
Prince on your shirt.
Oh, Prince Hall.
Prince
Hall.
Hall.
Yeah, with Prince Hall Shriners.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just kept on seeing Prince.
Yeah.
You know, the sky turned purple a year ago Friday.
I know, right?
And that was Prince or Michael?
Yeah, it was Michael. You know, you ain't going.
Man, I can't get that high on either one of them, so I don't know.
No, look, it takes work.
It does. look, celebrate Prince's anniversary by hanging out with the Prince
Hall
Shriners
and daughters. Yeah.
This week.
Thanks a lot, guys. I mean, we really appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir.
And our folks are really excited, and we're excited about hosting everybody. And I hope that we'll get to see you all maybe at the public program or something. I know we'll find a way and everything. We give you those medals for you to wear. But absolutely, you're invited to come down and hang out with us.
I will not be giving mine today.
I know, right?
Don't you worry.
Yeah, so see, because we've got a couple hundred that are in circulation right now.
I would say them big, man, that's big when they mention maybe order lots of medals.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
y'all got the big dollars.
Yeah, we got limited edition medals.
Right. Hey, now check this out, baby.
That's 100, that's it.
That's it.
If we
Everybody
were
got
gonna get one, if we were gonna get them, it was gonna be a limited 10. The
Yeah.
first annual 10 medals.
Right.
2, 1, 2.
There you go.
Chris now 3. Look, we might have kept 6 and gave away 4.
Yeah.
Look out for next year. It's going down.
Right.
There you go.
10 people is wearing our medals next year.
Just gonna work it out.
I'm gonna tell you something. Hey, man, we love you, man. And
Thank you.
Pop/Uncle, I'm gonna come get some money later and eat
Hey,
on a Sunday morning.
There you go. Hey, look, we'll get back by here and everything.
Yes.
And like I said, I know you guys are out doing a lot of great things, so I'm sure we'll see you some more and stuff like that.
You need something, you come.
Well, likewise, if there's something that you all see, you run into organizations that are out there that say, man, we need some help with this, reach out and touch us.
Absolutely.
Reach out and touch us, and I'll make sure that y'all get all my contact information as well. But
Yes,
if
sir.
you reach out and touch those guys there, they reach out and touch me on a regular basis and stuff. So we're here. We're going to keep doing work in the community and throughout the state and even nationally. So.
Together we can, baby.
Absolutely.
Figure out what you can do to make a difference. Love it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, y'all already know. Get the info. What's the websites one more time?
DesertOfTexas.org.
DesertOfTexas.org. Or you can go to the Facebook page as well. Get their limited edition medal. So they've got an event on Thursday that's free. An event on Friday that's formal wear. An event on Saturday that's relax, hang out, kick it. All at El Tropicana Hotel. Y'all go make it happen. If you spend some money, it's going to a good cause and good proceeds, all right? If you're interested in the organization, you want to join, you want more information, holler at your girl, and I will get you in touch with the right people. Shout out to my folks. Shout out to the teams.